Cynthia, and welcome back to Healthyish Recipes. Today I'm going to be making a variation on pineapple upside down cake. I wrote this recipe with, instead of pineapples, we're going to be using rhubarb. I love rhubarb. I'm not sure how popular rhubarb is, but me and my family, we really do love rhubarb. It's pretty versatile. So that's what we're going to start with today, okay? First things first, we're going to add 3 cups of rhubarb to our baking pan, and I just used a 9-inch round cake pan. Put that in the bottom. Mine is non-stick, but if you don't have a non-stick pan, I would recommend spraying with oil and coating that. So first we're going to make the topping. So you take 1 cup of brown sugar and add it. Two teaspoons of apple pie spice. I know apple pie spice, but we're doing rhubarb cake, upside down rhubarb cake, but it has cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice in it. So you can use, if you just want all cinnamon, you can change it to cinnamon, but I think it's easier. I don't have to measure it out. I tried to write a recipe that's pretty easy, just like dump, stir, and go. So 2 teaspoons of apple pie spice, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and you just want to mix this up. And of course, literally, I just opened this. This is a fresh brown sugar, and it's hard and clumpy. I don't know why. I thought about having a new brown sugar, I would avoid this, but no, I did not. So, it doesn't really want to cooperate with me. Okay, so to the pan that you already have your 3 cups of sliced 1/2-inch slices of rhubarb, you're going to put in the topping, and when you bake this, this is what's going to make that brown sugar caramel on the bottom. And you could totally replace, if you can't get a hold of rhubarb, you can use pineapple. Make this recipe, you can do both. All right. So just spread it evenly. And then once you're done with that, then you take a 1/4 cup of melted butter and you just drizzle it over the top. Easy peasy. All right. And then we're going to set that aside, and then we're going to make the batter. So we have a clean bowl. We have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I've already added 2 teaspoons of baking soda, or actually, baking powder. I'm so sorry. Baking powder. And then we are going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt to this. And 1 teaspoon of the apple pie spice. And we're just going to mix that up. We're going to set that aside because we're going to take 3/4 of white sugar, a 1/4 cup of melted butter, and just stir that up a little. To that, we're going to add 1 egg. This recipe is so easy to stir up with by hand that you don't even need to bring out your mixer. Like I said, I wanted an easy recipe that is easy to throw together and tastes delicious. All right. Then we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla, to this, you're going to add it in 3 parts. And just stir until it's incorporated. It's going to be thick, but we're going to be adding milk to it too. Let me grab the milk. All right, stir it up. And that was 3/4 cup of whole milk. You could use 2% skim milk, non-fat, even if you wanted to. That's just what I created the recipe with because that's what I use at home is whole milk. All right. And just whisk it together. And then you just have cake batter. All right. Now, once that is all mixed together, you bring your pan over here. Look at how fast this is. Told ya, fast and easy and tasty. And then you just spoon it on here. It's like holding it and spooning it on. And you know what's going through my head right now is don't drop the ball. Don't drop the bowl, Corinthia. Don't drop the bowl. Get all of it out. All right, I think that's good enough. And we're gonna put this over here. All right, and just spread this out. And then you're gonna bake this in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for 40 to 50 minutes. You want to check it at 40 minutes. When you insert a toothpick, it should come out clean, and then you know it's done. In my oven, it took exactly 40 minutes, and it was perfect. And there we go. And then we just pop it in the oven. Before I pop it in the oven, I just wanted to go over with you guys like some variations that you can do. Like I said, you can totally use pineapples with this, you know, pineapple rings with cherry, and use the same batter, the same brown sugar, cinnamon, apple spice mixture with the pineapple. You can also use different fruits with the rhubarb. You can do rhubarb apple upside down cake. That would be scrumptious. You can also use strawberries and rhubarb. They are besties. They go really well together, and you could do it that way too. Just slice up the strawberries, and instead of 3 cups of rhubarb, maybe like 1.5 cups of rhubarb to 1.5 cups of sliced fresh strawberries. Or you could do frozen. Actually, we have a rhubarb plant, so this came out of our garden. So during the summer, when I harvested it, I cut it all up and I packaged, gosh, I probably had about 20 pounds of rhubarb. So they're all in my deep freeze. And when I made this recipe, I used frozen. You can use fresh, but at this time of year, it might be a little harder to find the fresh, but it is still harvested in early fall. So it's a possibility, but like I said, you could use pineapple, apple, whatever fruit you would like. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pop this in, and I will see you in 40 minutes. Okay, it's been 40 minutes, and here's our upside down rhubarb cake, or rhubarb upside down cake, whichever way you want to say it. But look at how pretty it is. It comes out literally so easy. When it is in the cake pan, you just take a knife and rim it, go around and make sure nothing's stuck. Put the plate on top, twist, spin it around upside down, boom, and then you have it on the plate. It turns luscious, caramely, dark caramel coloring. That's one of the reasons why I use dark brown sugar. You can use light or dark, but I just like that really rich, deep flavor that you get with the dark brown sugar, and it's this beautiful, luscious caramel, sticky, ooey gooey cake. So I'm just gonna take a little nibble with the clean fork and try a bite for you guys. I know it's gonna taste good. Yum. I'm telling you, if you haven't tried rhubarb, you gotta try it. In this recipe, or even any recipe, because rhubarb is actually one of my favorites to bake with. And actually, I told you earlier in the video that this rhubarb came from our garden, and the rhubarb originally came from my grandma. She planted the rhubarb plant in the mid-50s, 1950s. And when she moved from North Carolina up to Michigan, where I'm at, she brought that plant with her. And before she passed away, my mom, my uncle, and myself, we took from the mother plant and transplanted it, and that's the history of our rhubarb our rhubarb plant. So it's, gosh, in the mid-50s, so it's 60 years old, over 60 years old. So I think of my grandmother every time I use my rhubarb that I harvest. So it's just something sweet. It reminds me of family and love. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining me today on Healthyish Recipes. We just finished making a rhubarb upside down cake. If you could, comment below and let me know what rhubarb recipes you've tried and what you like. I think rhubarb is unfortunately, a forgotten fruit / vegetable. I think it's really considered a vegetable. But yeah, comment below any recipes that you've tried with rhubarb. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like the video, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on Healthyish Recipes. Bye.